Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees. Well, the Yankee baseball season is underway, so who better to bring back to evaluate the start of the season than an old friend of the show, Craig from YankeeCrazyPodcast. He's in the batting circle, so let's get him at the plate. Hey, Craig, thanks for coming back onto the show.
Hey, thanks for having me on again. Appreciate it. Had a lot of fun the last time.
Yeah, and it seems like so long ago. You were actually, I guess, probably the second Zoom guest, as you would say. You've come back full circle, and you've made a great improvement on your shirt. Love the shirt. Looks a little similar. Looks familiar, but
Love these. These are actually really awesome shirts. It's like become my favorite T-shirt instantly.
yeah, because it's like you're Yankees, but not Yankees in a cool way. Now, we got what we wanted. We got our baseball season. It was kind of swings back and forth. How many games it was going to be? Were we going to have a season? At some point, it seemed like maybe it wasn't going to happen. But it's sort of like one of those deals. Like we got it, great. But is it what you would thought it would be? I mean, are you disappointed, or are you just like, great, we have baseball, I love it?
I am on that side of we got baseball. It's awesome just to be back. There are some weird things with it. Some of the rule changes, no fans in the crowd is definitely interesting. Even though at Yankee Stadium on TV, those first like 10 rows, you never see anybody in there anyway, in those luxury seats. But, when the Yankees get there, we'll see, obviously. But it's, I don't know, the crowd noise that's pumped in is definitely a little weird when you watch it on TV. But like I said, we've got baseball back. I'm happy. Get to see the Yankees play. Get to see Garrett Cole finally pitch for the Yankees. So I'm happy.
In my standpoint, kind of the same way. I'm happy it's back. I just think watching on TV, it is lack a little juice, a little energy, just because I just think having a crowd there viewing the players, like you feel that through the TV, and
right.
When the stands are empty, you kind of miss. I'm not saying you kind of miss that little juice of the game, a little bit. The players are trying hard, the pitchers are trying to strike the guy out, the players trying to hit, but I think you lose that little energy. But again, for all it's worth, I'll definitely take it. And one thing I did notice also is that I guess maybe without all the fanfare, maybe because the new bullpen rules, these games are going pretty quick. It's not like, at least on the East Coast, not have to stay up to like 1, 2 in the morning,
Right. Yeah. That new rule with the pitchers needing to come in and face 3 batters, that is going to really shorten games because, as we know, the whole strategy of bringing in a guy for 1 batter and then going to somebody else definitely quickens it up and makes it more strategic. So it's interesting, and that's what baseball's been trying to do, is get shorter, thinking that that's going to get the new wave of young people to watch baseball. But we'll see what happens with that.
I get this picture though, Girardi now is the manager of the Phillies. He has his binder and he has all his matchups, but now you can't really use it anymore because, you have to like keep the one pitching. So he's probably pissed off. I think the one person that really does not like that rule is Girardi, because he loves those pitching changes.
Oh yeah. Binder Joe, right? As he was called. His binder's probably gotten even bigger now because he's got to have all that other stuff, and who can face 3 batters, and the analytics on that is probably insane now.
And again, if fans not familiar, Greg, they can follow you on Yankee Crazy Podcast, on Twitter, on Instagram.
Yes.
Go check them out and follow them, and on Facebook as well. Again, Yankee Crazy Podcast. You mentioned Cole before. Not shocked. I mean, just focusing on the opening day start. I know it was shortened by the rain, but was any surprise to you that he's went in there? He gave up a home run early, but from that point on, is untouchable.
It was great to see, obviously, and with everything that went on with getting us to a game 1 on July 23rd, which is just kind of crazy. I feel like I'm giving everybody a pass, like in these first couple of weeks, which you can't really afford to. In these first couple of weeks get behind, although the new playoff system allows a lot of people, a lot of teams to get in. But I thought, guys could be really rusty. Guys could be, not training the way you might think that they're training when they're down in Florida in spring training. So I really had very relaxed expectations for everybody. And he went in there and just got, pitched great. As you said, gives up the 1 home run, but it was fantastic to see. Well, gotta love that. And gotta love that a lot of guys came into the new season looking really good, really in shape. And Garrett Cole, hopefully this is a sign of what he's going to bring to the Yankees all year and through this contract. Somebody who's going to come in and be the ace that they have needed for a while.
No, totally agree. And yeah, I think also, I think Cole is just a cool character. Because I remember Yankees bringing other big name starting pitchers here. Now, a few of them were over the hill. Like I remember Randy Johnson. He just never seemed comfortable. Like, yeah, he won 17 games in both the season with the Yankees, but he just never really seemed comfortable. Roger Clemens came here with a little, like a middle past prime, but even he took a while to get adjusted. 99 was kind of a bumpy year for him. Mussina is really the only one I could really remember where, like, he came in his prime and was pretty much delivered from the start. Didn't really have any, sort of bumps to start off. And Cole's is kind of the same way too. Like Mussina is a very cool character. Just came right in there like he's been here for like years.
Yeah, he has, and it's really awesome. And he really came in and took over a leadership position because obviously Yankees lost CC Sabathia, who was their really big leader on the pitching staff and for the whole team. And, you hear about him in the clubhouse and what he did with, taking guys out to dinner and having this really big team unity. And from what I read and hear, Garrett Cole has come in and kind of, not taken over probably in the level that CC was, right before he retired, but he's coming in and taking over that role, it seems. And it's fantastic. Love it. Love seeing that. And the Yankees need that too, can't replace CC Sabathia, but having a great leader in there is just something that's going to be fantastic for the team in this year.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what happened with CC back in 2009. I remember he was a little hesitant of joining the Yankees just because they heard the clubhouse was divided between because of Jeter and A-Rod and stuff like that. And Cashman was like, no, we want a personality like yourself to come in there and unite the team and be a leader. And again, Cole probably not as vocal as CC, even though CC wasn't that vocal, but Cole just leadership in there. Just hear everyone just talking, saying great things about him. Cashman saying great things about him. And I think it also helped that, with this delay this season, really, the spotlight was kind of off him, because we were all just looking forward to that, like that April 1st or whatever start from him, first game of the season, all the binoculars and all ESPN and everyone looking at him. This kind of like, with this whole period, he's just kind of, you almost forgot it about the contract, forgot about the whole offseason signing. It just feels like he's just, another one of the boys.
Right. Yeah, definitely. That's a really good point with that. And, who knows with the weather, a lot of times starting the season at Yankee Stadium can still have some cold days and, some guys just don't heat up until the summer when it's really warm and the muscles are more relaxed, etc. So who knows if that would even be anything, but this just seemed like a perfect opportunity and time for him to come in and just step into that rotation and pitch really well.
Another one of the players that you said was off to a good start, and I'm pleasantly surprised myself, was Aaron Judge. We had the whole issue with the rib, and then he had the neck stiffness. And it was like, all right, is this guy going to be ready? Is this going to be like the past two seasons we're going to see him? But, hitting the ball with authority early on. And, of course, now with Stanton with his early home runs, just looks like, now he always hits a national park traditionally. So we'll see how long he carries that over. But you have those two monsters in there healthy, playing well. I mean, look at that lineup. It's insane what they could do.
Yeah, it is. And, like everybody talks about, the good sign when Aaron Judge is hitting the ball well is when he's pulling it. And he's been doing that right off the bat, pardon the pun, but looking really good. And my man, Giancarlo, who is very polarizing, Great to see him just start off really well. He needs that, especially from all the haters online. He's mixed when you talk to people. It's very interesting, and he needs a big season. He's got to really prove that he was a great addition to this team and not someone who's just going to ended up being a bust and injured. And Aaron Judge, without the rib thing, it's great that he started the season, because even like 2 weeks before the start of the season, there were some articles coming out saying, is Aaron Judge going to be ready for that? And it was almost like, we're in towards the middle of July. What's going on with this injury? So that was really, really great to see.
Yeah, got two of them. And of course with Aaron Hicks as well. I mean, he had the off-season Tommy John surgery. You don't even think about it. Same deal. I mean, if the season started under normal circumstances, we wouldn't have seen him. Unfortunately, it looks like once again, odd man out is our masked friend, Clint Frazier, who, crushes a ball at Citi Field. And then early on, just because, they have too many outfielders, and it looks like they're going to favor keeping Miguel Andujar around. Clint's one, odd man out yet again.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. He is shown that he is major league quality at bat. The defense was, really shaky, which I had never noticed really prior to last year. And the guy, I feel bad for him. I really feel bad for him, because he is the odd man out, and Andujar stays with the team. Clint back down again and has to hope, which you don't hope, that someone gets injured for him to come back up. And I don't know what they're going to do with him. He's been in a lot of trade scenarios over the past X amount of years, and the guy has got to be frustrated with where he's at, because he could be starting on many, many teams. And I think if he gets traded, he'll probably slot right into someone's lineup instantly. So I don't know what's going to happen to him. Cashman loves him, as we know, so I think he wants to hold on to him. But, what are you going to do? Where are you going to put him? And I like Clint Frazier. I think he is seems like he has matured and become more in the Yankees mold a little bit, although, I know he's got the nose ring they don't love, and other things that aren't, quote, Yankee-ish, but I think he is stepping up and saying the right things, and could be a really great addition to this team if they can find him a spot. But it's tricky when you've got that outfield of Judge, Stanton, Gardner, Hicks, who am I missing in there? Andujar. I don't know. This'll be interesting to see what happens to him, but I'm rooting for him. I'm a big Clint Frazier fan.
Yeah, and I think I'm in a couple things. I think go for him and against him. I think with this season, though, it's so short that it's not like you can have to rest players the same way. So if it was like your typical 162 season, you would figure, there's going to be spots where Judge or Hicks are going to be on the DL, and you're going to need that extra outfield. But I think it's such a short season that you're not going to see much of that. But also on the flip side of the coin, since we really don't have the minors and it's hard for scouts to evaluate talent, I don't know if there will really be any trades. I know that they push. They're going to technically have a trade deadline, but I don't know if anyone's really going to make moves, because, how are you going to evaluate someone's farm system unless you go on their stats from like last year? So I still think he'll be a Yankee throughout the season. Then maybe this winter we'll see if something is done in terms of a move. Yeah,
true. And Gardner, he signed another 1 year deal.
Yeah, it was 1 year at a time. So maybe it's gone this last year, and then maybe that opens the door for Frazier possibly.
Yeah, and we'll see what Andujar does. Is he going to just come right back and hit the way he did in his rookie year? Or is he going to regress? Nobody really knows. And how's he going to be in the outfield? Is he going to be serviceable? And he's got a great bat, and they say, okay, he can at least play better outfield than Frazier and become more valuable in that respect. Or is his defense in the outfield get worse than Frazier and Clint becomes a better option? It's going to be interesting. It's a lot of question marks, and I like both those guys. There's not one who I would say I want to see him over the other, but we'll see. We'll see. I feel bad. He's Clint Frazier's just that guy stuck in the middle and not, losing some prime years in the minors and not being up on the major league level, really proving himself.
Yeah, and I think that's what brings some of the animosity towards, just getting back to Stanton real quick. Because they've probably, it's not his fault. I mean, look, a team trades for you and he has you, but I think a lot of people look at Stanton as like the one that's kind of clogging up the pipes there for someone like an Andujar or Frazier, homegrown Yankees, so to speak. And he got this big money DH type of play, kind of, preventing these guys. And he's signed for like another 7 or 8 years. So I think that also adds to the animosity towards Stanton, and also just good for him to get off to a good start, just because he had that whole incident as well where it's batting practice, but just the symbol of him hitting the line drive and hitting Tanaka in the head. It's like it just seems like there's like sometimes a hex on Stanton, just can't get out of his own way and stuff like that. So yeah, it is good for him to just get off to a good start, and maybe just get some of the negative tension off him and just focus on baseball. Now I want to talk about the new playoff format because I love it how like the season really like they don't even have the full schedule. It seems like it's just something like they're making this up as they're going along because I guess this is a lot of moving parts. But it's like, all right, let's start the season. All right, let's just do this for the playoffs now. Like after the season already started. So like I said, we're gonna have 16 teams out of 30. So unless the Yankees like the entire team gets ravaged by COVID or there's some crazy circumstance where everyone's terrible, they're gonna make the playoffs. It's just So you got 16 teams out of the 30. I'm pretty sure the New York Yankees are going to be one of them. But, I mean, do you think it's too many teams now for the playoffs?
I think it is. I think they have really just done so much with these new rules. And, the commissioner, he was interviewed during that Nationals game 1 with the Yankees. And it just seems that he has this attitude like, yeah, let's throw everything there for this season. I think he's just looking at this season like a waste, and or claiming it's a waste so that he can push his whole agenda. I think that's a few too many playoff teams. It gives the Yankees a really good chance, obviously, to get into the playoffs, but it's just too many. It's you're going to see teams getting in now below 500, which always irritated me when the wild card teams would be just at 500. You're like, should a team with a losing record really make the playoffs? I don't think so. It does make it exciting at the end and keeps a lot of people interested in baseball. And, the other aspect is Yankees historically over, I don't know, you could probably look up the stats over the last, 10 years or so, have had a lot of slow starts at the beginning of the season and then had to make it up. So this new playoff format does help those teams who might get off to a bad start, but then start to really pick it up. So it's a tricky situation with that. I can kind of understand it on that level, but like I said, it's a lot of teams, and I know that they are still going to have the whole schedule line up and finish up in at the regular time. It's not being extended, so I haven't looked at what those playoff formats are going to be, but I don't know. Too many teams in my opinion, and I think that the Yankees would have made it either way, even if they had not had this extension of the playoffs. But overall, not so happy with it.
Yeah, and it's really quickly, like before, we used to have there'll be almost like, 2 wild card games. Like it'll be the wild cards, kind of the 2 bottom feeders. We'll have that 1 game playoff. So what basically going to do is scrap that, just, really quickly going over it. The first round is going to be wild card round for everybody. So it's a best of 3. The 1 plays the 8, the 2 plays the 7, the 3 plays the 6, the 4 plays the 5. Then you get to the divisional round, which is, again, then it kind of goes your traditional best of 5. It's going to be 2-2-1, so 2 home, 2 away, and then if necessary, come back home. That's best of 5. League, same way. It's as tradition, best of 7, 2, 3, 2, and then World Series be another again best of 7 going 2, 3 away and then 2 at home. So adding more games. I think also a lot of it is also, hey, and I think the reason the players liked it, it is throwing more games at them, so they have an opportunity to make a few bucks. Again, it's a shortened season. It was all the back and forth of the amount of season. So I think maybe it was just sort of like, all right, let's get these players a couple of rounds, an extra round, because some more games just to, make a few extra bucks on this season.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah, like you said, they just threw that out there. Heard about that at Game 1 last week, so did not have time to actually see what that was. I was thinking it was probably going to be a little bit different, but that's even trickier, having a 3-game set. A lot of people complain about the 5-game set and how that is a really short series. And sometimes, teams can just get swept in that and could be, on paper, the better team. So now a 3-game series, that's going to be even trickier. But I guess you could say it'll be exciting. If the Yankees win, I'll say it's exciting. If they lose, then I'll go back and say it was a terrible playoff format.
Yeah, and again, the first round is the 1 versus an 8-seed team. So again, like you said, theoretically, an 8-seed team maybe below 500 and just having a good week or having 3 good games or 2, it's 2 out of 3. So having 2 good games can knock off a top seed team where maybe just Cole and Paxton back to back just throw bad games and there goes your whole season.
Yeah, absolutely. Good point to that. And that's what the playoffs often come down to, is the hot team. And you just gotta get on a good run. And who knows, maybe it is the 8th seed is one of those teams that started off really slow, but could have been a better team in a 162 game season.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Now, just getting back to the actual look of, different home ballparks are treating us differently. Some just have the empty seats. Some have these like cardboard cutouts, which are like, I mean, do you have any preference of, what would you like to see, like cardboard cutout Yankee fans, or you just think, hey, just, keep the seats empty, whatever. Don't try to like fool us,
Well, I think they should take screenshots of us and put us in the front row, right?
Every seat should just be us.
Yeah, every seat should just be us and do the whole stadium. The cardboard cutouts, I know that, I'm not sure if everybody's doing it, but I know some stadiums are doing it for charity purposes. So I'm like, that's great. I think that's fantastic. Try and raise some money for, I think at least Shea, I almost said Shea Stadium, City Field.
I still call it Shea. It'll always be Shea. Doesn't matter.
It still is, right? It should be.
Giant Stadium will always be Giant Stadium, and Shea will be always Shea,
Yeah. I know that they are doing it for healthcare workers in New York who are on the front line. So I'm like, that's fantastic. When I first looked at it, it seemed a little odd. Then I heard that and I'm like, well, that's fantastic. But it does add a little bit more of a dimension than just the empty seats. So I'm for it. Might as well try something different and put some people back there. It, I don't know, makes it a little better than looking at empty seats. Although I see the Nationals had in their stadium Delta on the back of their seats, and I wasn't sure if they've always had those on there or that was something special for this year so they could get more money. My first inkling of thought was that they said, all right, who wants to sponsor the front seats so that you can have complete advertising for an entire game in there. Do you know about that?
Yeah, well, I saw that. Yeah, I noticed the National as well. Like I think the whole third base section looked like they put a giant tarp over the seats, and now putting an advertisement on the top. Yeah. I think you're right. I think that is something new. So that that'd be a way to go, because now you have like a ton more billboard space. Just fill it up with seats, and you might have tarps. So the baseball field might look like the side of a NASCAR racing car. Maybe in a couple of weeks we'll see how that all goes.
Yeah, they got to make their money somehow. And hey, if you're getting it from sponsorships like that, what are you going to do? Go for it.
Now, of course, last time we spoke, it was off the heels of your guest. We had Brian Hawk on from MLB. And also during this time, he has another couple good interviews with Jack Curry as well as Nancy Newman. Again, fans could check that out on your site, Yankee Crazy Podcast. Just really quick, like Nancy Newman, because I guess we all, Jack Curry, we all know him, we hear him and see him, but Nancy Newman's kind of like, she has the Yankee Magazine show and some of the pregame, but like, what did you really find out about her? Like, what really surprised you, during that interview?
Surprised. I guess, I guess one of the big things with a lot of the people I interviewed were surprising, but not surprising, that they're all really, really nice people, like really giving people, for obviously coming onto my podcast. I'm not obviously CBS, NBC, or ABC, or ESPN. So the fact that they all came on the show and really, gave their time was spectacular to me. And with Nancy Newman, she's just, I think that, I guess not a surprise, but reinforced it. When you see her on TV, to me, she just comes across like really nice person, and especially on her social media accounts, she comes across as a really sweet person, really nice. And she was like that. She was really super cool. I don't know anything surprising about her. Again, maybe one of the things that was surprising is that you might see these people and they're in the media and think that they are, they're stars in a way, at least to me. And they all, especially Nancy, were asking me questions. We had a pre-interview, and then after it, we stayed on the phone and talked. And she just was really super cool, and asking me questions, and really, just a really nice, caring person, and trying to find out about me as a person when I'm trying to, interview her and the whole thing. And so maybe that's the surprising thing is with Nancy, at least, and the others, that they all, and especially her, really cared about getting to know me in a way, and not just, I'm doing an interview and click, goodbye, off the phone. So that was really nice, really special. And I became even more of a fan of hers. I think she's fantastic.
That's nice to hear. So, pleasure having you on again. Again, this episode just flew by. I feel like we could have spoke for another 2 hours. So again, fans can follow you at Yankee Crazy Podcast on Twitter, on Instagram, your Facebook page. Check out the Jack Curry, check out the Nancy Newman, even go back to the Brian Hawk interview. Very good, insightful. Thank you for coming on once again. So now we both have similar shirts, so we're gonna give audiences the opportunity now. Who wears it better?